Hey guys, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing super well. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment and share my videos with your family and friends. So this is going to be the second episode to my Sheley's Dark Tales podcast. Really exciting. It's a new series I've started where I'm reading out scary stories to you guys, literally. Let me know in the comments what you think of these videos, and definitely if you've got a story that you want to share with me that you'd like me to read out on my episodes, I've got an email address at the bottom. Email me, guys. So picture this: it's late at night in East London and a tired taxi driver is about to finish his shift. He's worked all day and really just wants to go home, but then he gets one last job request. It's a long journey out to some remote area. And even though his gut's telling him to call it a night, he thinks, what's the worst that could happen? It's just one last fare, right? What he doesn't realize is that this ride is going to be very different from all the others. From the moment his passenger, an elderly woman, gets into the back seat, things start to feel off. And as the miles roll on, the atmosphere inside the car grows darker and darker. This isn't just a late night taxi run. It's the kind of journey that leaves you questioning what's real and what's not. And wherever you're ever truly alone, this is the story of the last fare. Malik Hussain was a UK Bangladeshi taxi driver in his early 40s who's been driving taxis for years. There was once when his life had looked different. He was married, he had a steady home, and he spent evenings with his 2 kids, but now that was all gone. The marriage ended not long ago, and he still carried that heavy weight of regret. He knew some of his past choices and his mistakes played a role in the divorce. Now he lived alone in a quiet flat that felt way too big and too empty. Every day he worked long shifts, picking up strangers, dropping them off, filling the silence with the sound of the road. But no matter how busy the city felt around him, he carried a loneliness that followed him everywhere. He missed the laughter of his kids, the warmth of a family meal, the comfort of having someone wait in for him when he walked through the door. To him, the taxi wasn't just a job, it was a distraction, a way to avoid the silence at home. One night he had just finished what he thought would be his final shift of the night. But when the job request flashed up on his screen, a long distance trip to a remote area, he thought to himself he really needed that extra bit of money. Just one more fare, just one last journey. When he pulled up, an elderly woman was waiting under a dim street light. She looked fragile at first. She wore a faded shawl, clutching a worn leather handbag against her chest. Her posture was hunched, as though years of hardship had pressed her down. Her skin was pale, almost grey under the dim streetlight, and her hands were thin and bony, trembling when she opened the taxi door. She gave him a long look before climbing into the back seat. She didn't say much, just the address. From the moment she entered the car, she carried with her an aura that made the air feel heavy, like the darkness outside had climbed in with her and refused to leave. The roads grew emptier as he drove further from the city. Silence filled the car. The only sound was the steady hum of the engine, until he noticed something in the rear view mirror. Guys, I'm all alone again in the house. It was her reflection. It wasn't sitting right. Her face seemed to twitch, to stretch in unnatural ways. For a second, her eyes looked too wide, her mouth too long, almost animalistic, before snapping back to normal. He blinked, shook his head, and told himself he was tired. But then he heard it. A low murmuring sound, like whispering, like she was reciting something under her breath. He tried to make conversation. "Are you comfortable back there?" Her response was sharp, angered, almost a growl. "Just drive." Her voice was sharp, brittle, like snapping twigs. As he drives in silence, static crackles through the radio, even though it's switched off. Among the static, he swears he could hear her voice whispering the same words she was murmuring in the back seat. And then the temperature inside the cab began to change. It was subtle at first, and then unbearable. Heat rising, pressing, suffocating. He held onto the steering wheel as tightly as he could. He glanced again at the mirror. One last time. Her reflection is no longer just distorted. It's gone entirely. Instead, he sees an animal-like face with black eyes staring right back at him. Though in the back seat she's sitting completely still. Panic surged through him. He knew something wasn't right. Without a word, he turned the car around and sped towards the nearest police station. The whispers grew louder. Her breath rasped against his ear. The moment he pulled up outside, he flung open the door and ran to the station entrance, shouting for help. 2 officers followed him back out. But when they opened the car door, she was gone. The back seat was empty. Shaking, pale, he gave his statement. The officers exchanged doubtful looks, but he didn't care. He just wanted to go home. That night, he collapsed into bed, exhausted, his body heavy, his mind replaying the terror of the journey. Sleep claimed him so quickly. But only an hour later, a sound woke him. A soft, deliberate creak. His eyes darted to the corner of his room, to the armchair. And there she was. The same old woman sitting perfectly still, her face twisted into a smile. Just watching, just waiting. He ran out of his bedroom frightened to his core. The woman had later vanished. After that night, he never went back to driving. The taxi stayed parked in the same spot outside his flat, gathering dust until eventually it was towed away. He quit quietly, without telling anyone the real reason why. To his family and friends, it looked like another bad decision from a man already struggling to hold his life together. They tried to reach out to him, phone calls, visits, messages through mutual friends, but he stopped answering. He stopped opening the door, stopped letting anyone in. Now most days he doesn't leave his flat at all. The curtains stay drawn, the room's dim and silent. The only sound is the creak of the old armchair in the corner. The same one he can never bring himself to sit in, because sometimes, late at night, he swears he hears it shift, as though someone else is already there, still watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this story of mine. Really excited to share it with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. So this is a story that I've heard so many times, and I've heard different versions of it actually. And it's come from, even my dad's told me of this story where one of his mates, I think, had experienced something like this. I can't remember from the top of my head. Like my uncles have said it. My dad used to be a taxi driver, by the way, for years in London. So it kind of sits at home with me and it's always been really interesting. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've heard of a story like this or something similar. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to hear more stories, and I will speak to you guys next time.